Moving to number 15, purchase of play equipment for Happy Park. Parks Supervisor, Mr. Robert Condry. Complete with sport coat.
I knew I shouldn't have spoke to it.
You look good.
Thanks. Let's see. All right. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. My name is Robert Condry. I'm the Park Supervisor. I'm here tonight to request your approval to purchase new play equipment for the Happy Park. It's for the 2 to 5 and the 5 to 12-year-old play structures. This equipment is at Happy Park at 1850 Pebble Beach Drive in Yuba City. The equipment at Happy Park was installed in 1998, and it's no longer compliant with current standards. This is the oldest play structure we have in the system to date, and it's in definite need of improvement and replacement. At this time, before I get started, I'd like to thank any members of the Youth Commission that might be in the audience. They had a big part in the selection of this play equipment. So any members that might be in the audience, if you'd like to stand up now and be recognized. Okay, thank you. They did pick out some different play features through the playground representative, and they also attended a presentation from the Play Power Inc. people. So we really appreciate that from the Youth Commission. I have a few slides here from some of the play equipment they selected. Right here, we have it's a climber, curly orange. It's pretty creative and fun for the youth. They also selected a generational swing, which parents and the children alike can swing on the unit, so it's very nice. We have the double wide slide here that the children like to race down, so that's always a hit. And then we have an inclusive spinner. The spinner here, if you're a wheelchair user, you can be transferred onto the spinner, and then if you need be, you can be buckled into the unit. So it's very nice. It was a good choice. In the 5 to 12-year-old play equipment, we have some bongos for the musical enthusiast, Max Play swing set, another slide over here in the corner, and then we have the track ride. We have track rides in quite a few of our parks. They're very popular, very durable. We don't have hardly any maintenance on them, so that was a very good choice by the Youth Commission as well. Play Power is a supplier for Little Tykes play equipment and was awarded a contract by Sourcewell Cooperative through a competitive bidding process. They would be who we'd recommend for the play equipment, and the installation that would be done by local contractors in a separate bidding process. This is the fiscal impact that it would cost for the whole project. As you can see there, it'd be $63,000 for the equipment, around $27,000 for the installation, $90,000 for the whole project. We do have sufficient funds in the CIP account, 931-222 for the project, so the money's already there. So at this time, I would like to, staff would like to recommend that to approve the capital acquisition of Little Tykes commercial play equipment for 2 to 5 and 5 to 12-year-old play structures at Happy Park. And B, to adopt a resolution awarding the purchase of Little Tykes commercial play equipment, 2 to 5 and 5 to 12-year-old play structures to Play Power Inc. by piggybacking on the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract number 030117-LTS with a negotiated price of $63,358 with the finding that it is in the best interest of the city.
All right. Would anybody from the public care to comment on the... All right. We have one. If anybody else would like to. What? No. The cards are something different. What? My bad.
Must have happened when you were out of the room.
So we do have a member of the public.
Looks like 3 of us.
3 of us. Go
At
for
least. Good evening again. My name is Holly Stout. I still live at 1648 Chelsea Place in Yuba City, California. I'm not against parks. I'm not against having parks. I would like to suggest that this council delay this decision, given that what has been told and what has been learned about GAP is that it's short by $150,000 for 5 months out of the year. Given that, and given that we're looking at spending $90,000 on new play equipment, I would suggest, and this council has expressed a willingness to try and work with us and figure out a way to keep GAP open. I'd like to think that perhaps spending more money on parks, especially in the middle of July, when the parks, as it was shown, there's a 3-month lead time about the time that this could possibly get installed. It's going to be raining again. Maybe this isn't the best time to make that decision. In the alternative, I'd suggest just removing the play equipment and letting kids run around. They like to do that too. In either case, it seems a little bit disingenuous, I guess, to spend money here while you're also, as you heard earlier today, denying potentially and shutting down a team and a facility that's worth $16 million. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Greg.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. I appreciate you allowing me to speak. I was just made aware of this evening while in attendance and supporting FRAC and a beautiful facility that I saw open in 2007. Before I was a resident of Yuba City, however, have come to enjoy and love with my family. I would like to second the words of the former speaker that I would like to urge the council to postpone or stay the decision tonight on this. I too agree that it should either be removed, not replaced, if you want to move forward with it. My family has friends in that area, and we've been to that park. I think the most utilized park equipment there are the basketball courts. But you're trying to cater to a very small number of the 2 to 5, Mr. Condrey, is it? It was both play equipments, 2 to 5 and 5 to 12. And 5 to 12. Where, as the speaker before me mentioned, a $16.4 million facility that is utilized by the entire city is being shut down. To me, that's ludicrous. I'm saving the majority of my comments to the scheduled meeting on the 29th, I believe it was. But to me, this is, I've been sitting here listening as a longtime Yuba City resident. I know some of the folks sitting up there. I'm just a little bit in shock. And I will tell you that I will make it a point to start paying much more attention to what is happening in my city, based on some of the things I've heard over the last week coming out of this group of people. I hope and I look forward to you folks being able to work with FRAC, but I too, again, I will defer to the speaker previously. She took the words right out of my mouth. This decision truly, I don't think, would do the city justice taking place tonight. I think it should be stayed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Cecilia Biggs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm too a resident of Yuba City. I used to live on the south end of town, where my now 7-year-old daughter and I frequented quite a bit at Happy Park. Even growing up, she spent more time running around, throwing balls, than playing on any of the play structures out there. Most of the time that we were there, there weren't kids there. There weren't kids on the play structures, and I don't think it has anything to do with the equipment that's out there. I think it has to do with the demographic of people that are out there. Now, granted, that could change in the year that I've been gone. I don't think it's changed that much. We're recently in the process of trying to purchase a house, and that was one of the areas that I looked in, and my realtor said, probably don't want to. The crime rate is really high around there, and it's increasing steadily because it gets less and less attention. I don't think putting $90,000, like Mr. Smoke said, I don't believe that putting making a decision on $90,000 worth of equipment when you're talking about shuttering another recreational setting in an area that might just have increasing crime rates, I don't think it's a good idea. Certainly not to make the decision tonight. I obviously am a supporter of frac. My daughter's been swimming there for 2 years. I just don't think that taking $90,000 and fixing something that's minimally utilized as it is a good idea, at least not to make the decision tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's the end of the speaker cards. Anybody else care to comment? Nothing.
If it pleases the council, may I
Yes.
bring Ben Moody up to explain where the funds are
Certainly.
coming from? Thank you.
Yeah, just for the audience and the council, I wanted to bring a little insight on the funding source. And so with these funding source in the CIP project, we're using CDBG, which is a community design, a grant. It's a federal grant money that's specifically identified for the playground. So it's not a funding source that could be later utilized for pool operations particularly. So I just wanted to be clear to bring that to light.
Thank you. You saved us some time. Appreciate it. Did you have more, Bob?
No, I'm done.
All right, bring it back to council.
Through the mayor, I just, that's what I was going to ask you, Robert, is the fact of the funding, where it was coming from. And the CDBG, Mr. Moody, what does that stand for, so the community understands what the alphabet soup is?
So the CDBG is the community design. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Community development. I'm going to say this wrong here. That I'm on the spot. Block grant. The community design block grant. So it's a federal grant that we annually go through and establish the criteria, and through that, the council annually has the option to identify where those funds go through, and so those funds. So I want to make sure I'm clear. These funds have been identified for the playground, but they can be reprogrammed at the council's discretion. So at a certain time and through certain procedures during that. So with this, they've been programmed into the CIP account for playground equipment. So that's where it is.
Okay, so the community development block grant, that we have the title correct, has very specific requirements on to where the funding ends up for designing in community areas.
Correct.
And we put it, and we designated it in the CIP, which is the Capital Improvement
Program.
Program, or, okay, I got that one wrong, program.
Yep.
And so in that, it was to improve the park equipment, because at the moment, one of the things that was this was discussed in workshops, that it was the worn out equipment was potentially could be some sort of liability or compliance issues.
So definitely, and I'm seeing, I don't know if Brad's still here, but he could probably answer to that, but definitely annually they program money for the improvements. So as the facilities wear out, we could replace the turf, the rubber, make sure that they're all compliant.
Yeah, because at this moment, it seems that's where, at least my information, that this park has some worn out equipment, that there are some safety issues or regulatory issues that we also have to keep in mind. Even if one child gets on there and has some sort of an accident, then it's a bigger issue.
Yeah, it definitely needs replacement parts as we speak, and so that's why we're requesting the funds to replace it. And that's an annual account, the CIP account, so we put money in there anticipating playgrounds last on average of 15 to 20 years. So
Okay.
this one's at the end of its life cycle. So if we didn't put the money into this, we would have to basically tear it out until council decided to approve it.
Okay. And so it is for the projects that we have already outlined, so it's just a process at this moment.
Yes.
Okay, no further question.
Through the mayor.
Sure.
Robert, thank you for the presentation. Do you have any numbers on utilization of the park? I know I'm probably hitting you cold here, but it's been raised that maybe this park isn't and this equipment isn't used. Do we have any kind of statistics that would indicate usage at all?
I don't have any hard numbers, but I mean, we frequent the park every day, and we see, you know, obviously children and adults using the park every day,
Okay.
as well as the basketball court.
And this question, it may be Ben Moody, it may be our city manager. On the subject of the CDBG funds, we did go through a workshop. We did allocate those funds for this project. Are those funds eligible to be used for the operation of the GAP if we so choose?
I believe that they are eligible for that. You would have to modify your CDBG, the plan that you submitted to HUD, to reappropriate those funds to this project. But in terms of an eligible use, I believe that you could utilize the CDBG funds towards operation of GAP. But we would need to confirm that.
Okay. With that in mind, and knowing that we have a meeting set up to just explore hopefully a multitude of options in regards to the GAP facility, I would like to entertain perhaps putting this off. But here's a question, Robert. If we put it off until after our meeting, our special meeting to deal with FRAC, we're talking a few weeks. It's not going to set you back.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Okay.
Through the mayor, on the CDBG grant, do we, just to make sure, I don't want us to get in, because having worked with them in the past, would we have to request that ahead of time to make sure that this is a possible revision? Because I don't want to falsely promise something that we then later may discover that it's not allowable because we've already submitted it, or have we submitted that plan?
I believe that the plan has been submitted, but we can check with our representative to see if this is an eligible use and provide that information to council.
That would be good, because I don't want to give people hope that allowance, because I know how sometimes the state could be pretty specific on once you turn in plans. Okay? But it could possibly be an option. All right, thank you.
Back through the mayor, yeah, I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that the 90,000 is what we can do, but I think it's worth exploring the option amongst a whole bunch of options that may be out there to try to help address both of these issues. So we can get some staff help in regards to the eligibility of the CDBG funds and then return to deal with this problem, or this project, excuse me. Not a problem, Robert. You did really well. I know this was your I know this was your first go around, and you did magnificent, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, you did excellent, Robert, through the mayor. You did really well, and just know that we support all the work that you do and the team that works with you, okay?
I forgot the last slide there.
There, no worries. We're good.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
Is it through the mayor?
Yep.
Diana, by any chance, could that information be given to us on the 29th
Or by the 29th.
or by the 29th?
We will most certainly try.
Thank you, Diana.
Great answer.
Yep.
All right, so do we need to rephrase I believe we have a motion?
There's still not a motion on the
Still
floor.
not a motion. Okay, I thought that's what I heard. All right. Now I need one.
Oh. So we're going to the mayor, we are going to,
You're moving to,
I'm moving to postpone this until
You could do
second
it.
meeting of August?
You could do it to the next regular meeting, which would be the second meeting of August. If not, otherwise put on a special meeting agenda before then.
Okay. What our attorney said. Let's just do that. The regular,
I second that, whatever the attorney said.
yes.
There you go.
I don't know. Is he a defense attorney?
We got a first and second. That's good, huh?
All right, so we have a motion to postpone this item until we only have one meeting scheduled in August. Staff is going to do their best to get us an answer to the questions regarding usage of CDBG funds. hopefully by the 29th, the meeting on the 29th. And we have a second for that as well. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Robert, thank you very much. You did a great job. All right.